Steve, what happened there?
First of all, I'll give credit to ENFIELD before I forget. Good result away from home. Tempo. No different to Tonbridge last week. And story of our season really. You pick a side, give them instructions and let them go out and play. Once they go over the white line, you can't do nothing about it. You make a few tactical substitutions here and there, or a few tweaks when the game's going on. If players don't start with the energy levels that you expect, then you're not going to win games, and proof is in the pudding today. We woke up when they scored. We give them a free shot in our 6-yard box to take the lead. We then score. Second half, give them instructions. Let's get it right. And I'm harped on about it. I've got big players missing, and that showed today in terms of character. You know, I had some youngsters out there. I've got a bloke playing right back that doesn't really play right back. It would have been easy for me to put Parky on at centre half and move Callum out of right back at half time or earlier on. But Tom Parkinson's been out almost a season, if not longer. And for us to get 3 points, or try and get 3 points by bringing Tom Parkinson on, you saw what quality he's got. You saw how mature and comfortable he was alongside Sonny. And I thought 25 minutes was enough, because otherwise you might have a setback. So the 3 points is always what we want, but I'm not going to sacrifice someone that's been out over a season to get that. That's why Stephen stayed on, because you get asked that question, the fans will be asking it, and that's the answer. But we started flat, and I put on the ball tempo, start with tempo. So when we got free kicks, we turned our back and waited for someone to come and take it. When we got throw-ins, we waited for them to get set. It wasn't quick, it wasn't incisive, and that's part of the reason, apart from, like I say, giving them a couple of goals as well, which didn't help, by poor defending. But yeah, very disappointed, if I'm being honest.
There were a couple of individual mistakes there, and some of them we took a look at, well, what happened there? The one, I can't remember whether it was the second or the third goal, where Johnny was to the left of his goal, and they shot past him.
Until I watched Trev's video, you know, I'm not going to pass judgment on it. I saw what I saw, as everyone probably did, and I'll reflect on it. But they're under no illusions that it's not good enough, because you can't put a performance in like you did against Dulwich and then step it off today because you're playing ENFIELD or mid-table. And that's exactly what it looked like, and I bet everybody else thought that as well. It's not good enough.
I don't want to make excuses for the players, but well, are they an exhausted set of players? There aren't. It's not a big squad you've got to choose from at the moment. Is that a factor? No, it's not a big squad, and I would never use that as a factor, because they're young, a lot of them. If you look at the ages, a lot of them are mid to below mid-20s, below mid-20s. You've got a couple that are older, but wouldn't use that as an excuse, because playing football, it's an easy out for people. You know, if you're not fit, you tell the manager and you don't play. You know, so I won't buy that as an excuse. I've got some big players out: Craig Stone, George Bevan, Jack Parter, Bluey. So pleased Parky's back, you know, because he's worked so hard, and I'm so pleased he's back out on that pitch. But again, we want to manage that. I thought Sonny was superb again today. But again, I thought in stages they all done well. Sam, Joe, Nathan, Alex, you know, Wits, Jack, they all done well in stages, but it weren't enough. You know, if we'd done that on Tuesday, we'd have been opened up left, right and centre. So the emphasis is on you to go and win games at home, I understand that. But why stop something and not do things that you were good at the previous game? You know, we were poor last Saturday, all over, even though we had a couple of chances. We were good Tuesday. So why not carry that on to today and do the same thing? Because we didn't change the system, didn't change the shape, didn't change personnel. So there's no excuse for that, and I don't understand it. That just comes down to the mentality of the players that go over the line. The big positive was Parky getting 25 minutes at the end of the game, wasn't there? Which is good. He's been very patient, been a long-term injury. How is he? How's he feeling?
Well, we'll know more in the morning on how he actually feels. He's put a couple of strong challenges in. I really wanted to get him on the centre of the park, if I'm being honest, because that's where he's at his best, in my opinion. But needs must, and we put him in at centre half. But I was never going to bring him on. We spoke about it before half time, but I was never going to do that, because his long-term health is more important than a quick fix of 45 minutes to try and get 3 points. me as a football manager, I've got to have due care for the player, and that was my decision that they've just given the 25.
Yeah. Another positive, I thought, Andrew Cisse, when he came on, I thought he was pretty good. Left hand side.
He's strong. He's very raw, as I've said before in interviews. But with him, he's just got to learn when to cross it and when to try and beat the next person. Because there was a couple of occasions, but he's fearless. And when you get young, raw players that are fearless, you know, you can stick them out there, and it doesn't matter who they're playing against. They'll go up against them. And I thought he done well when he came on today, as he did last week at Tooting. I thought Joe and Sam done well. You know, we got shots off today as well. So they put their bodies on the line and blocked it. But it's the actual tempo of the game. You can't just flick it on like a light switch. And any manager will tell you, any coach will tell you, it's not as easy as doing that. Once you start in the doldrums, you stay there. And you can't lift it, you can't raise it that extra 10, 20%. If you're only playing at 80%, you can get to that 100. But if you're starting at 30s, 40s, you've got no chance of getting up to the levels of other players. And that was disappointing today, and that happened last week. So it's a good few things I've got to look at, really.
Good question about Stephen, who's been played right back the last couple of games.
He came to us pre-season, and I've said before, he came to us as a centre midfield player. He come back to us after his injury layoff as a centre midfield player. He's been training with us over the last few weeks. I've needed bodies, so we signed him up. Got nobody else to play at right back. You know, with George Bevan out injured, he took a nasty whack at Tooting, and his ankle swelled up. So you've got to try and put players in where they can play. Now you look at him, and he's a strong lad. He's quick, and as a fullback, I think that's half the battle. And there was times today where he got caught out, but I was listening to some sarcastic laughs from people about him, and that's unfair, because the boy's doing me a favour, because there's no one else to play there. Other people might say, well, put anybody there. No, that isn't the case. It doesn't work like that. The lad's come in, he's willing, he plays in there, and like I say, wasn't his best game today. He done a job on Nathan Green on Tuesday night, even though he made a couple of mistakes. But like I say, he's doing us a favour, because low on numbers and we can't sign anybody. But like I say, he's come to us from pre-season, really.
One last question, as it came up on the forum this week. Normally by now a couple of players have been signed up for next season. I've not seen any announcements yet. What's the position
No
with
one's signed. No one's signed yet, because it's one of those. You've got players that, how can I put it, have probably had good seasons, and might get phone calls from other clubs, and with the budget cut, they want to, obviously, players will want to know what I want to keep, who I want to keep, and stuff like that. And it doesn't happen overnight. Like I say, if I'd signed players at Christmas like I did last year, and the budget cut comes in, then players within their right to come to me and say, well, are we going to be competing? I want to keep a core of the players. I want to add to the players, which we've been actively looking at. Every week we've been going watching games, getting people watched. So there'll be a couple of additions. Won't be wholesale changes unless people don't want to stay, and that's the bottom line. There's players that I'll be asking to stay.
Any of those conversations been had yet?
Not at the moment, no, because I don't think it's right. I think at this moment in time, they're not in a position to come to me and say that they demand X, Y, and Z, and I'm in a position now. I wasn't, to basically know where we're going in terms of the budget, in terms of the chairman, and stuff like that over the last couple of weeks. So it's been in turmoil, really. Let's get it right. It hasn't been plain sailing, especially after Christmas, since unfortunately Roger stepped down. And we've had the cuts. We've had to get on with it. But players haven't been spoken to. They will be spoken to, and it's up to them at the end of the day. If they want to stay and play for Tonbridge Angels, they will do. If they're asked to take a certain wage and they're not happy with it, then they'll go elsewhere. But that's part and parcel of football. You can't. I'd love to keep a lot of them. Will I keep a lot of them? Maybe not. Are we in for a tough time next season? Depending who I can keep and who I can add. But you have a team out there that's going to be fighting every week. You have a team out there that's hopefully going to be better than this year. Because this year, personally, I've made mistakes.
we've made individual errors on the pitch. So as collectively, we haven't produced, and it's shown it in the last week. You know, you draw at Tooting, you lose at home to Enfield, and you beat Dulwich away. That's a catalyst of an up and down season, and that's exactly what we've had, consistency. So conversations will be had soon. Now everything's sorted out with Dave being the chairman and stuff. But I worry about it. I'm more concerned about the effort I got today. So if I go and speak to people about next year, who are we going to speak to today? Who are we going to speak to at Tooting? Tuesday, you can speak to all of them. And that's the difference, it's that consistency. So, like I say, I've got a lot of hard work doing in the summer really, because knowing that we've got the budget cuts, knowing that players might have to take a cut in wages, there'll be a lot of people sniffing around some of these players, because they know that they're good, they know that they're tested at this level, and they know that they'll complement their side. And we've got some good players here that could be snapped up by anyone for a few extra quid, because we might not be able to offer them. But that's something that I have to sit down and talk to them, and it's their decision. And if they want, like I said before, if they want to play for Tonbridge Angels and me, then money doesn't really come into it a lot of the time. If they're chasing a pound note, then you won't see me next year.
All right, let's forget about today. Yep, and I'll see you Tuesday. Good luck.
What's up, man?
Cheers.
Thank you.
Well, if there's on positive to come out of the game, it's 25 minutes seeing you on the pitch.
Yeah, it's nice to get back. I mean, it's been 13 months now. I've had 2 training sessions. I've done a lot away, doing like double sessions in the gym, doing some stuff with a fitness trainer at Maidstone, doing work with their physio, doing a lot with Melv, and it's just nice for me, for a goal. I mean, a lot of people are saying don't bother this year, but for me it was just a goal to get on the pitch before the end of the season, and make sure that I can get through the last 4 games playing here and there, and my aim is for next season to come back fully fit.
Yeah, and the gaffer's just told us in the interview that it was always planned to play, 25 minutes, but there were perhaps a couple of conversations about whether you might even come on a bit earlier today.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like I probably could have done more, but coming into the game, I trained Thursday and I was blowing out my backside, so you never know, but it's sort of the adrenaline gets you through on your first game back. But it's disappointing that the result today, just individual errors. I mean, we weren't really at it from start to finish today. The tempo wasn't there. But it wasn't for a lack of effort or anything like that. I can tell you now, the boys that they all try, and everyone will go, "Oh, you can beat Dulwich," but it's completely different. I mean, that they play a completely different way to what Dulwich play, and sort of the other day we got everyone behind the ball and played on the break. Today we tried to take the game to them, and it just didn't work.
Yeah, the back when you come on, you played obviously centre back. I mean, I don't know if that was the plan, but
no, I think he was going to introduce me at some point anywhere, but I think he just wanted to obviously put Callum at right back and bring me on there. But I don't care where I play, as long as I'm playing. I don't really mind.
Yeah, it's quite a young defence at the moment. I know Sonny's had quite a bit of responsibility of sort of marshalling some of the players around him. Do you find that when you come on as well? You still sort of got that captaincy role that he has?
Sonny's been fantastic with them, because it's not easy playing, and I found out when you come on, you have to constantly be on them. They're good players, but they're still learning.
Yeah.
And what Sonny's done, I mean, to play sort of Dulwich with the same back four the other day, and to really keep a clean sheet is remarkable, because he's been fantastic with them. He might sound like he whinges and moaning, but that's only to try and get the best out of them. And listen, for all season, I think he's been fantastic. And him and George held it together against Billericay, and the experienced ones, to be fair, since we've had the budget cut, and that have been really good, and helped the youngsters a lot. And it's a good opportunity for them. Whether they're ready or not at the minute is, that's down to the gaffer. But they've had a chance, and they've done well some weeks, and you will get inconsistency with them. That comes with young lads. But the older ones have dragged them through, and they've been brilliant with them.
Yeah, and of course, with you being out, it's not a consolation, but it has given you the chance to work on some of the academy stuff, hasn't it? That seems to be progressing.
Yeah,
very well.
I mean,
you've got a game this week, haven't you?
In a couple of weeks' time. So we've got my brother's academy, Phoenix, coming down to play against some of the lads, and I'm hoping that Charlton will come down again. But it was a case of this year. I've been at Maidstone for 5 years now, and it's sort of got to a stage where I can't really take it further than what he is now. I mean, we've had a lot of success with players moving to pro clubs, moving into non-league, winning leagues, and it was the right time to come for a fresh challenge. And I sat down with Steve, and he liked what we see. And to be honest, the trials we had, I thought we might get 20, 25 kids maximum. So far, up to about 36 accepted. So it's taken off really well, and hopefully we can build and go strength to strength. It's not an overnight thing, but hopefully in about 3 or 4 years we'll probably be as strong, if not stronger, than the likes of FC, Dartford, Maidstone, and hopefully get the best local talent.
And particularly when they see the likes of Callum, Liam, Tashi playing first team football here, they know there are opportunities.
To be honest,
the club gives them the chance.
Steve's one of them. If you're good enough, you're old enough. It doesn't matter. And he puts a lot of faith. And you've seen with Liam, he's only just turned 18. He's probably played 40, 50 games at this level. To be honest, Tashi, I think if Tashi gets a run of games and his head's right, I personally think he's good enough to play in the league. I think he's got that much ability, but he's still got a lot to learn. He's scored a lot of goals when he's gone out on loan, but sort of playing a different role here. But he's been excellent. I mean, Callum's come in and probably doesn't really like playing right back, but at centre half he's been excellent. And then the young lads, the Cess and the boys that come from the reserves, it's a good opportunity for them. And listen, budget cuts sometimes open doors, and when you're young, you've got to have a bit of luck. And they've had a bit of luck with people leaving and that. And to be fair, they've had a chance and they've done well.